I'm going to try something a little different today. This video is going out by request, going out to JC in Mexico City. He wanted to know what kind of records I had back here for like 70s disco. So I pulled some stuff out to share with you. I can't play you any of these songs because YouTube will yell at me if I do. But what I can do is talk about these tracks, the titles, the artists, and I recommend you go ahead and check them out on YouTube if you can. And the reason I am saying it that way is because this first album, for instance, I have a love-hate relationship with it. This is Bryan Adams, Let Me Take You Dancing. Yeah, that Bryan Adams. I did a video on this song probably last spring, and I even pitched it down to where I felt like it was originally recorded because Bryan Adams kind of sounds like a chipmunk on this record. Turns out Bryan Adams hates this song so much, or his team hates this song so much, that they severely penalize you on YouTube for playing it, and they take the videos down quite aggressively when they pop up. So mine got taken down. It was the only time I ever got flagged and penalized and threatened to have my channel taken down was with playing this song. So he hates it. If you can find it to listen to somewhere, I recommend it because it's a cool song. It is disco, believe it or not. And you do hear it on Studio 54 radio here and there. I, in fact, heard it today on Studio 54 radio. That's Bryan Adams, Let Me Take You Dancing from 1979. Next up, Herb Alpert, Rise. This is kind of a smooth jazz track, really. It's a top 40 track for sure, but I think it should get some recognition because Herb Alpert, this is his label A&M, by the way. This song was used by Notorious B.I.G. for Hypnotize. This is the backing track for it. I do play this song at events sometimes, kind of between dinner and dancing as a hype track. It's a cool song, and I thought it was fun to have on 12-inch. Herb Alpert, Rise. Herb Alpert, rather. Bell and James, Living It Up, Friday Night. Bell was a songwriter from, I think, Philly International. He and James wrote a whole bunch of songs for Elton John and other people. But this was their hit, Living It Up Friday Night. They were kind of, I guess, coattailing on the whole Saturday Night Fever thing. They thought they'd bring some attention to Friday. This is a cool song, though. I think it's from 79. Give it a listen. It's out there. You guys know this one, Blondie's Heart of Glass. What you may not know about this song is originally it was a reggae tune. And when they got their record deal, disco was a thing, and they turned it into a disco track, and that's the one we know. I do occasionally play that at events. Alicia Bridges, her big song was I Love the Nightlife Disco Round. You guys know that track. I'm sure you've heard it. If you haven't, give it a listen. Alicia Bridges, I Love the Nightlife Disco Round. I'm not aware of any other hit she had, but check that one out for sure. I do play that occasionally at events. You guys know this one, Car Wash. Now this stuff, maybe it's disco, maybe it's disco funk, maybe it's R&B, but it's in the disco shelf. It's on the disco shelf, rather. This is Rose Royce who did that song, and the other one they did that was kind of nice. If you've never heard it, it's a ballad. It's really nice. It's more R&B. It's called I Want to Get Next to You. And they also have another one called Is It Love You're After? That's pretty sweet. Alright. Ooh. This is deeper stuff. This is Cerrone with Supernature. Check this track out. This is cool. This is the kind of stuff that you heard in discos back in the 70s. Cerrone with Supernature. There's a remix on here, like a relatively new one, but the original is what I would recommend you check out. Cerrone had some really nice tracks. Alright, this is where Chic starts, and I gotta put my glasses on to see what I'm looking at here. Okay, this is Chic, Good Times. This is a great track. This is the song that they used, or they stole, I guess, for Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight. They didn't actually loop this. They had the Sugar Hill band play this song note for note. So it wasn't a direct sample, but it was just completely ripped off. But Good Times by Chic is the original. It's a great song. Anything by Chic is good. I love Chic. I've got more Chic here, as a matter of fact. Let me put my glasses on. See what we have. Oh, this is Le Freak right here. Now keep in mind, I wasn't DJing when a lot of this stuff came out. I've been collecting this stuff, you know, over time. What do we got here? What chic song is this? Oh, I Want Your Love. Oh, this is a fantastic song. One of my favorite chic songs right here. Another great chic song is Everybody Dance. I love that track. But there's a bunch of them. Anything by Chic is good. And we'll talk more about Chic as we dive deeper into this. Okay, this one's special. And a lot of people don't know this track. It's a beautiful song. It's by a guy named Gary Chris. It's called Rio de Janeiro. Check out this song. If you were interested in disco at all, kind of what it was all about, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Gary Chris with Rio de Janeiro. One of my favorites. What else we got here? Oh, this is kind of disco funk stuff. This is very disco funk stuff. And I think it's actually from 80. This is D-Train with You're the One for Me. This is a great song. You can play this in a disco set or you can play it in a funk set. Great track. D-Train, You're the One for Me. Okay, check this out. You guys know this song. Earth, Wind, and Fire with The Emotions with Boogie Wonderland. Of course, you know Earth, Wind, and Fire also did September and tons of songs. Tons and tons of tracks. Reasons, all kinds of stuff that you guys play as mobile DJs. But this is with The Emotions. They did a lot of backing vocals for Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I believe The Emotions were using Earth, Wind, and Fire on their tracks as well. So it's kind of a cool partnership with them. And we'll talk more about them in a minute. Hot Minute. Right here. We're there. The big song by The Emotions was called Best of My Love. You guys probably know that one. I follow up September at mobile events with that track a lot. But my favorite Emotions track is this one right here. It's called I Don't Want to Lose Your Love. This is a little earlier, but it's so good. Give this one a listen. Emotions, I Don't Want to Lose Your Love. A lesser known track, but man is it good. Santa Esmeralda, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. This is one that Mauro Luna picked up for me when I was out in California last time. He really wanted me to have this. I thought I had it, but I didn't. So this is it right here. Santa Esmeralda, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. It's very kind of a Latin disco track, but it's a great song. You guys probably know it. Foxy with Get Off. This is Ish Ladamza, I believe his name is. He did a lot of stuff. Foxy Get Off was this track. He's Cuban, by the way. Another one was Oxo with Whirly Girl, which is a really good song. If you don't know it, have a listen. And he also was the guy behind Company B. We talked about Company B in my freestyle video. His wife was, I believe, the lead singer of Company B with like Fascinated and all that. Same guy, believe it or not, did Foxy Get Off. This was his band. I think this was 78 or something like that. He also worked with Miami Sound Machine. What we got here? Oh, Gloria Gaynor. Yeah, you guys know this one. Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. We all play this at our events. You know it. Just thought I'd give it a considerable mention because it was in the stack. Okay, this is a good one. Gary's Gang, Keep On Dancing. This is a nice song. And I rediscovered this track probably about 10 years ago. I'd kind of forgotten about it. It turns out the Ones used this as part of their sample in Flawless. The 12-inch version, there's a little part at the beginning of it. Not the single, but the 12-inch. The Ones use that as a sample. This is a fantastic song. Give it a listen sometime if you don't know it. Gary's Gang, Keep On Dancing. Good tune. Don't bother with those 80s remixes. Go right to the disco stuff. Speaking of disco stuff, GQ, Rock Freak. This is really cool. It got airplay. It was played on the radio, but it was also played in the disco heavily. This is a very disco kind of song. Give it a listen. GQ with Keep On Dancing, Rock Freak. Good tune. Oh, wait, this is Disco Nights Rock Freak. What am I saying? Let's say Keep on Dancing. They say it in the song. I should say it in the Gary's Gang song. I'm getting confused. It's because I'm old. Oh, yeah, Dan Hartman. He did a lot of tracks. This Is It is one that a lot of people kind of forgot about, but it's a cool song. Countdown's on the flip side. That was a good one, too. He did this one here, which was huge. I think that's the right side. Yeah, Instant Replay. One of his big tracks right here. He also did Relight My Fire. We got here, oh, yes. Patrick Hernandez, Born to Be Alive. Madonna toured with them. And if you watch the Patrick Hernandez video for Born to Be Alive, Madonna turns up in it. Someone's dancing right over my head. Wish they wouldn't do that. But they do it, even when I'm shooting videos. And this is too long, I can't stop it. Thelma Houston, of course, her big track is Don't Leave Me This Way. You guys probably know it. If you don't, listen to it. You can play it at mobile events. People know it. Thelma Houston, Don't Leave Me This Way. All right. Hughes Corporation, Rock the Boat was their big one. They have another one that's really nice, too, called I Caught Your Act. It came out a couple of years later. So if you don't know that one, check it out. Hughes Corporation, Rock the Boat. If you don't know it, please listen to it. And if you're into it and you want to hear more from them, check out I Caught Your Act. It's a nice song. Excuse me. Okay. In Deep. Last night, a DJ saved my life. This has been redone, but the original is really cool. And I think it's from the early 80s. It's In Deep with Last Night, a DJ saved my life. One of my favorite disco songs, and it's very, very disco, by the way, is this one right here. Patrick Juvet with I Love America. He's French. And I know he had other tracks, but this was like the big one. And if I remember right, this is the blue record. Yeah, look at that. It's a blue record. This is very, very disco. I can't imagine you ever played it at an event, but if you love disco, give it a listen. Patrick Gervais with I Love America. Okay, I'm only mentioning this one. Not because it's popular or anything else. Eddie John's More Spell on You, because this is going way back to when I first started doing YouTube videos. This is the song that Daft Punk chopped up for One More Time. Believe it or not. This is it right here. So, More Spell on You, Eddie John's. You chop it up the right way, and you speed it up like crazy and change the key. You end up with One More Time. Casey and the Sunshine Band. I love Casey and the Sunshine Band. They had so many good songs. Most people play Get Down Tonight. It's a great track. You can also do That's the Way I Like It, I'm Your Boogeyman, Boogie Shoes, off Saturday Night Fever. Keep It Comin' Love is my favorite. That's a great song. It's the only song I've ever played as a DJ where I played it 5 times in a row, and each time I played it, it was better and better. I got a better reaction to it. It's a long time ago, but it happened. So yeah, Casey is great. I love Casey. I've seen him live a couple times. He's a fantastic live act. In fact, he's got an all-star band that he brings out. And in fact, Ish's wife was in it, who sang Fascinated. Yeah, I think Montel Jordan's been a part of it. There's been a lot of like famous disco and even 80s and 90s musicians who have been a part of this all-star thing. It's kind of like Ringo Starr's all-star band, but for disco and R&B music. Okay, this is a tongue-tie song. Quebec Electric. Check this out. The track is War Dance that you want to listen to. Now, this is very electronic, almost EDM style disco. It's neat stuff, and I love that electronic style disco where it's like instrumentals. I got a couple in here I'll share with you. I'm assuming they're probably German. I really don't know. But yeah, War Dance by Quebec Electric. I hope I'm saying that right. It's always a tongue tie for me. Okay, Susie Lane with Harmony. This is the funkiest disco track ever made. You ask anybody who's a DJ, an old school DJ, and they'll tell you that Susie Lane Harmony, it doesn't get any funkier than that for disco. It's a great song. She's another one called Ooh La La. That isn't bad, but definitely do yourself a favor and give Harmony by Susie Lane a listen. It's a great song. Lime. This is going into the 80s a little bit. It's a husband and wife duo. They had a couple songs. This is their big one. It's called Unexpected Lovers. This was kind of underground disco stuff. So in America, when the whole disco sucks thing happened at Kaminsky Park, the word disco kind of became a dirty word. And in Europe, nobody cared. But in America, it went very underground. And Lime was one of those artists that was still producing tracks for clubs. And this is their big one. But it's not my favorite. My favorite Lime track is this one right here. Babe, We're Gonna Love Tonight. This is a fantastic song. Lime, Babe, We're Gonna Love Tonight. Her voice isn't my favorite voice, but the music is so good that I ignore it. You guys know this one? Lips Incorporated with Funky Town? You guys know that one. Considerable mention on that one. This is Machine. There Before the Grace of God, There Go I. This is a beautiful song. There are a couple versions of this song where they changed up the lyrics a little bit because radio wouldn't play some of the lyrics they were doing about popping pills. But it's a cool song. It's a beautiful, beautiful disco song. Give it a listen. I've heard it pop up in like TV shows. I think what's that one show called? It'll come to me. It's on like Netflix. The Get Down. I think that song turned up in the Get Down. They did that one. Jimmy De Palma gives me a hard time for this one, but I love this track. This is Metropolis with I Love New York. And apparently they used this song in the New York tourism ads, the New York City tourism ads, when this whole I Love New York thing came about in the 70s. But it's a cool tune. It's a really nice song. I enjoy it. It's Metropolis with I Love New York. And what else we got here? Oh. You guys should know this one. McFadden and Whitehead, Ain't No Stopping Us Now. Big song. You still hear it a lot. Very motivational kind of track. I remember I used to play this one for deaf people. There was a group that I used to DJ for where they just liked the bass. This was their favorite song, Ain't No Stopping Us Now, McFadden and Whitehead. Just because the bass is so cool in it. MFSB with TOSP. Now, MFSB, some people think it means something else. It means mother, father, sister, brother. Get your head out of the gutter. TSOP is Sound of Philadelphia. This was the theme song to Soul Train for many, many, many years. And I do play this one a lot. Again, between that dinner and dancing set where I'm kind of trying to do hype tracks while we're clearing tables and stuff. Good tune. Check it out. What do we got here? Ooh, Giorgio Moroder. Giorgio was the guy who produced Donna Summer stuff, and he's a German guy. Chase, Giorgio Moroder. This is gorgeous. And the original version of this thing is like 13 minutes long. Yeah, you can go all 13 minutes on this track and listen to it. It's really good. This is more of that EDM style electronic disco that I was talking about. It's very good stuff. Check out Chase, Giorgio Moroder. Music. Keep on Jumping. This is a great disco song. This is actually an EP called Keep on Jumping. It's got a bunch of tracks on it. Their other big one is In the Bush. We're not going to talk about that one today. Got mental scars from that song that I'm not ready to get into with you yet. Alright. David Naughton. Making It. Very mainstream. Who was David Naughton? David Naughton was the actor who played the star role in American Werewolf in London. But before that, Making It, he was a disco artist. Believe it or not. It's kind of a cool tune. Some people hate it. I like it. I think it's fun. It's one of those just for fun songs. I wouldn't suggest you ever play it for DJing, I guess, but it's a cool song. And it was popular for a minute. What do we got here? Pointer Sisters. Now, when we think of Pointer Sisters, a lot of that stuff is probably like Automatic and I'm So Excited, which are great songs. But before that was Dare Me. And this is kind of 80s stuff, but it's very disco. Good tune. Vicky Sue Robinson, Turn the Beat Around. Turn my record around. There you go. You guys should know that one. Gloria Estefan did a remake of that one in the 90s that was very popular as well. But yeah, this is kind of still a big song. You can still play it sometimes at like disco theme nights and things. They like that one. Okay, this is fun. This is Rosebud with Have a Cigar. If you're a Pink Floyd fan, yeah, that song. Rosebud remade Have a Cigar as a disco song. And it's kind of fun. Give it a listen. That's Rosebud, Have a Cigar. Pink Floyd tune. I just had to put it in here because you guys were going to ask about it. Saturday Night Fever. It is my humble opinion that the Bee Gees are not disco. I think they're top 40 R&B. But anything in the 70s with a 4/4 time dance beat, they considered it disco. So, sure, fine, okay, whatever. But there are disco songs on this record. There's a Casey and the Sunshine Band song. Boogie Shoes is on here. Disco Inferno's on here. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm just glancing here. What else is on here? What's the big one that I was thinking about? Oh, Calypso Breakdown. That is hardcore disco. A Fifth of Beethoven, Walter Murphy. Yeah, there's disco songs on this album, but I don't know that I would consider the Bee Gees songs on it disco. That's just me. I mean, usually when you're in an event and somebody says play some disco, you play Staying Alive, right? Because that's what most people consider disco. But, yeah, that's just me. Okay. Sheila B. Devotion with Spacer. This is Chic. We talked about Chic before. Chic was primarily Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards. Nile's still with us. Unfortunately, Bernard isn't. He passed away probably 30 years ago. But they were such hit makers that other people would hire them to produce their records. Sheila B. Devotion was one of those people. And this is a great song, Spacer. Sounds just like a Chic song because it pretty much is a Chic song. There are others like this that are actually Chic albums, but people don't know it. One in particular, this one, Sister Sledge, We Are Family. This is a Chic album all day long. They let the girls sing on it. If I remember the story, it goes something like the record company wanted them to produce somebody. And they approached Niall and said, how about you produce the new Rolling Stones album? And Niall's like, dude, I'm not going to tell Mick Jagger and Keith Richards how to make music. This is ridiculous. Give me somebody else. And this was one of the producer's pet projects, Sister Sledge. Been around for a long time, never really did anything. So Niall said, yeah, give us them. We'll do something with them. So they did. But if you listen to any of these Sister Sledge songs, and there's some really good ones on here, back to back with anything that just says Chic on it, same thing. Like I said, they let the girls sing on them once in a while. I think even the Chic background singers are on a lot of this stuff. So, a lot of people don't know that. Amy Stewart, Knock on Wood, big tune. If you don't know it, check it out for sure. They call her the Queen of Disco. I think she probably really hated that because she was a rock and roll chick, and she did a lot of great stuff in the 80s too. That wasn't disco. It was just good music. She did stuff with Stockade and Waterman. She did some rock and roll. She did some more kind of reggae, Caribbean style music. But Donna Summer has some fantastic tracks. I think my favorite Donna Summer song is Dim All the Lights. Song she wrote for Rod Stewart, actually. Only song she ever wrote. This is the person I was talking about who Giorgio Moroder produced, who did Chase. Yeah, Donna Summer. Hot Stuff is one we can get away with a lot as a mobile DJ. Now, some mobile DJs will play Last Dance by Donna Summer as the last song of the night. I do it once in a while, once in a great while. It's been many years, but I've been known to do it. But there's a lot of really good Donna Summer songs. If you don't know much about Donna Summer, I dive into it. She's my favorite female vocalist of all time. She's effortless. She's beautiful. Her voice is beautiful. Her tone is beautiful. It's not like the Mariah Carey thing where they showcase the high notes and they make a big deal of it. No. For Donna Summer, that's a Tuesday. She was just that cool. So, check out Donna Summer. This is on the radio. This is the greatest hits. Bad Girls, Hot Stuff, all great Donna Summer songs. This is a Sylvester 12-inch collection. The big song from Sylvester in the U.S. at the clubs was You Make Me Feel Mighty Real. Now, this is like a top 40 huge song over in Europe, in England specifically. This is their Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. But here it's a little deeper. You really got to have an audience who's into disco. He had some other songs. Do You Want to Funk is one of his big ones too. But he did disco through the 80s as well. But do check out Sylvester. Real interesting guy. And You Make Me Feel Mighty Real is a disco staple. For sure. Alright. This is a guilty pleasure right here. Big time. Telex with Moscow Disco. More of that electronic disco stuff that really, I feel like, is probably the godfather of everything EDM that we like now. It's a great song. They're German, but they do the song in English and they also do it in French. I don't have the French version of this. This is I think it's the Canadian import of this, and they're doing it in English here. And the English version isn't bad, but I really like the French version. I got to get a hold of the French version of this on 12-inch one of these days. Great song, I think. You may not. Kind of cringeworthy at times, but I think it's a good song. Okay. Excuse me. Frog in my throat. Okay, let's talk about Andrea True Connection. This is an interesting one. Her big song was More, More, More. You guys probably know that one. If you don't, check it out. Andrea True Connection, More, More, More. This is not More, More, More. This is a song called New York, You Got Me Dancing, which I recently discovered a few years back. And I love it. I was never big on More, 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 probably because my father's mother's last name was Moore. That was my grandma Moore, and it just felt weird. But no, seriously. This is a great song. New York, You Got Me Dancing by Andrea True Connection. Treat yourself. If you like disco, try this song. It's amazing. And it's so ahead of its time. There are things happening in this song, which I think was done in 76. She did all this stuff in Jamaica. That is so before its time. Stuff that sounds like samples almost. Sounds like hip-hop almost. But it's a great tune. By the way, Andrea True was a porn star. And the song More, More, More is about making porn. If you don't believe me, listen to it. Listen to the lyrics. That's what it's about. I'm sorry to ruin your childhood, but that's true. We got Village People with Macho Man and YMCA. Got to give them a considerable mention. You guys all know these songs. And I thought I would just show off my signed copy of this Village People album. It's signed by Eric and also Felipe. And what is Felipe write? Brian, oh DJ, play the other side, okay? That's what he wrote there. So Felipe was a hoot. We had a good time when he performed with the Village People at one of the Mobile Beat shows. And he hung out afterwards at the bar, and it was a good time. Jay Brannon was there. Chris Bedke was there. It was a lot of fun. Felipe is a cool guy. Eric's great too. He was the guy who replaced Glenn Hughes, the biker, Leatherman or whatever. And he was a really nice guy too. It was a real pleasure to hang out with him. So Ring My Bell, Anita Ward. You guys probably know this song. Considerable mention here. This gets a lot of attention in pop culture. It turned up in, what did I hear it in recently? The Good Place. It turned up in an episode of that. And I've heard it in movies. It was in The Stand, I believe. Once in a while, this one just pops up. Very quintessentially top 40 disco stuff. What else do we have here? I like this one. And I think this is Pink. Oh, yes, it is. Look at that. It's Pink. This is kind of going into the 80s a bit, but it's kind of underground disco stuff here in the U.S. West End Records. This is Karen Young with Hot Shot. This is a fun song. I don't think Daft Punk ever sampled this, but this would be ripe for Daft Punk to sample. It's just got that groove to it. So if you like Daft Punk, that type of groove they had on the Homework album, check out Hot Shot. Even Discovery, check out Hot Shot. This is a really good song by Karen Young. And oh, I got one more song for you out of our my selection here, and that is Denise Williams. You guys may remember her for Let's Hear It for the Boy, but my Denise Williams song, All Day, very disco, very cool, is I Got the Next Dance. Is that what it's? Yeah. I've Got the Next Dance. I'm going to be sure I was saying that right. I know the song by heart, but didn't want to script the title of it. This is a cool track. If you've never heard Denise Williams, I've Got the Next Dance, and you love disco, try this song. It's really, really good. I like it a lot. Now, this was not as comprehensive as my freestyle video that I did a few days ago. By the way, thank you for watching that one. This is just kind of going through some of my personal collection, sharing some favorites with you, giving some considerable mentions. But if you like this style of video, do let me know in the comment section, and I will do my best to do more of these in the future. I was thinking about doing one on 80s alternative from like an American perspective. It's very different in Europe, but in America, we had an 80s alternative phenomenon, and I thought about pulling some records off the shelf and sharing that with you, because that's interesting. But if there's something you want to see a video on with these records, let me know in the comment section. If there's a genre you'd like to know more about that you don't, you think maybe I might be able to help, let me know. We'll pull some records, we'll talk about them. We can't play them, but we can talk about them. So that's it. I'm not going to ask you to like and subscribe and comment or ring the bell, but it'd be really cool if you did. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon. Practice and enjoy.